Yeah. I think we're going live. Live on Facebook.
Ooh, streaming live. We are live.
Yeah. So we'll just do a short scene and have a little chat after.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Thank you.
Awesome. And feel free to do whatever,
Oh, okay.
I mean, feel free to stand up, walk about, get in character, whatever you need to do.
I did. I've got my setup. If I get up, just knock something, the whole lot is going to come down.
Yeah, like a Jenga of technology. We'll just.
I like that Jenga tech.
Jenga tech, yeah. So I've just seen my random word generator coincidence.
Oh,
I saw that first.
Mine came up as that as well. No, it didn't. You never believe this.
Oh my god. Yeah, so coincidence. I'll press the timer. I'll press the timer.
Do 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 boobity do boo.
Hello.
Hi, yeah.
Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me, Vera.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's. How long has it been?
7, 8.
Easily 7, 8 years, easily.
I mean, God, you haven't changed a bit, Deirdre.
Thanks. I mean, I was a bit worried about you, actually, to be honest, because you left under a bit of a cloud, and I mean, we were all talking about it in HR, but we couldn't get the lowdown. I mean, there was complications, wasn't there, with you and Steve?
Complications, there's a word. Bit more than complications. I can share if you want.
No. Do you know, I will not let this conversation leave this cafeteria. I mean, this is between me and you. If you want to share what on earth happened when you left under that cloud.
Big clouds. Big, dark, grey cloud. Wow. So what happened was, you remember Maureen in accounts?
I do.
Big Maureen.
Big Maureen. She was a bit gobby, but I liked her. She made nice muffins.
Salt of the earth. Couldn't complain.
I
walked in to the tea room.
Yes.
There was Big Maureen with Steve.
No. Were they having a bit of a
absolutely
a moment?
Well, you see, that was the cloud, the moment. There was the rumor, wasn't it? He thought that I knew it was only a moment.
Right.
Turns out it was a moment.
What do you mean?
So I made a cup of tea, me and Maureen.
Whilst they were having their moment, you just carried on making your cup of tea?
Hey, I'm on the clock.
So they were there having their moment and you were like, just making me tea.
Clattering. I was clattering. They knew I was there. That was the worst thing, right?
Well, they just carried on. They just carried on, even though you were there.
Carried on.
Wow.
So I'm only allowed, as you know, back in the day, you're only allowed 10-minute break.
That's right.
Now, they're having a moment. They hadn't put the boiler on, had they?
No
hot water. Now, I'm telling you now, if they'd put that boiler on, that water boiler, all health and safety wired into the wall, I'd have been in and out.
A
bit like Steve.
A Vera, you are a mucky. Oh, you do make me laugh. Well, how long were you in there for?
Oh, well, I didn't fill it to the top. I just put enough in for the mugful. Put it on, it was boiling. Well, to be honest, I was so embarrassed.
Well, you would be, wouldn't you?
So I filled my mug up.
Aye.
Clattered a bit.
Yeah.
Poured a bit of milk in.
Right.
Helped myself to a couple of bourbons.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do.
Yeah.
And then I went back to my desk and waited till I saw Big Maureen come out.
Well, I mean, why did Steve feel like he had to fire you just because you'd witnessed their moment? I mean...
It was the email.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't know about the email.
Oh, right. What happened there?
So when I got back to my desk, I was emailing, you know, and I was going to email Big Maureen and say what's going on, because I was waiting for her to come out of the room, but she's going out, and I was had to go and take some notes at this bloody awful meeting. So I thought I'd drop her an email and go, what's going on between you and Steve, blah, 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 you know. Sent it to Steve.
Oh, I bet you he didn't like that.
Well,
is that grounds for dismissal, though?
No, that wasn't grounds for dismissal. The comments about him, personal comments about him, was the grounds for dismissal. To be fair, I still think to this day, although I am over it now, he was the one who should have got dismissed.
Well, quite right. I mean, it's a misconduct, isn't it?
Gross. Gross it was.
You can't have a CEO having a moment with the account lady in that tea room. It's misconduct.
It was horrible. Almost put me off my bourbons.
I do remember your comment, though, Vera. I have to say, I mean, it amused me at the time. I thought it was quite funny that you laminated that big poster of Steve and Maureen and stuck it in the staff room. But I could see why that was probably it. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together. It gave us a right laugh, though. I mean, that was a heck of a laminate.
If I'm honest, my life's turned out really well since then. You know what I mean? I've got a great job. I've got this. If time went backwards and I walked in that tea room again, I'd still do the same thing. Because that place was just awful. That laminated poster of Steve and Big Maureen. It was a big poster.
Yes.
And it was landscape as well, if I remember rightly.
Was? I think you blew it up, didn't you, to about 150%?
Yeah, I did. And
amusing.
Still didn't do it justice, I must admit. The sound of your laughter as I was packing up my desk and escorted out the building stayed with me. I'll be honest, Deirdre, it stayed with me. And it still cheers me up.
Well, I have to say, I mean, the office wasn't the same without you, Vera. I mean, you were like the life and soul. You know, I mean, you were very generous with your bourbons every day.
Oh, every day.
Every day. So, I mean, we did miss you, but we weren't allowed to talk about it or talk about you. There was a memo that came round after you'd gone under your cloud. And there was a memo that came round from Steve and from the board of directors that said, we are not to mention Vera's name ever. So it was like, you know, that was a red line. We couldn't cross it. So I just wondered what had happened to you. But you said your life's turned out well since.
Well, as it happened, somebody saw that laminate and I was invited on a photography course.
Oh, no, get away.
No, not. Because apparently it turns out I'm very, very good at putting a lot of small things in quite sharp focus.
Oh. So what have you been photographing since, Vera?
Mainly Beatles. I mean, not like John, Paul and Ringo, not them sort of big, like them little Beatles. Yeah, I work for Rentokil now.
Oh, right.
I know.
Okay, so you work for Rentokil photographing Beatles and other housebound creatures like cockroaches or ants, vermin.
Oh, I specialise in vermin.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I have to say though, Vera, I mean, you're used to photographing rats, right? I mean, Steve was a big one.
Oh, it was a big
So,
one.
you know, you've got form. You've got form for photographing vermin.
When I was at the interview, they said to me, "How are you? How do you feel about photographing vermin?" I said, "You haven't seen the people I used to work with."
Did you say you haven't seen what I laminated at my last place?
Oh, they saw it.
No. Oh,
Copied it. Copied it.
No. Oh.
And there's another thing. I mean, what explains the police caution?
Oh, I did read about that in classifieds in the local.
Yeah, well, the copy of the laminate, I'm not proud of myself for this because I was angry. I was a woman scorned. Yeah. You can imagine that I'd lost my job and everything. So I sellotaped it to his front door and his wife saw it. Oh, then, yeah, they had to get an injunction out against me.
Did you have one of those exclusion things that you're not allowed to go and meet her?
Well, I'm not supposed to go. Wasn't, because he's moved now.
Right.
I wasn't supposed to go within 2 miles of his house. And I said at the time, that makes things very, very difficult because I have my hair done at Lucky Locks.
Yeah, which was just down the road from where Steve used to live.
Yeah, just down the road. So I said, there was a time, I would say about 18 months where I didn't even have my hair done. And I was looking a mess. But then that reflected my mood because when you're in vermin, you're like, you've got your full suit on anyway and a hat, you know, like your corporate.
It's not really a glam shot, is it? It's not a glamorous shot, really.
It's not a glamorous job. It isn't.
Can I ask you something though? I know, I mean, I'm imagining that you're feeling a little bit slighted by that whole thing. And I'm just wondering, I do happen to know where Steve lives. I know where he's moved to. So, you know, a revenge is a pudding worth served sweet or cold or whatever it is they say. I don't know.
Definitely something about a pudding.
I mean, I'm talking about revenge, not a pudding.
Oh, I beg your pardon, me might slip down.
Revenge is best served cold, isn't that what they say?
I think that's what they say.
And I know where Steve lives. So, have you got any vermin knocking about? Dead vermin, perhaps?
Live vermin?
Or live vermin? Whatever. What do you think? Oh, I mean, I've got visions of cockroaches and rats right through letterbox.
I've got a hornet's nest. How appropriate is that? Kicking the hornet's nest.
Hornet's nest. Right. Are you up for it, Vera? Because I think you deserve a bit of a comeback. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm up for it.
Right.
So do you want to do it now?
I'm up for it. I'll get your coat.
Get your coat. Get your coat. Get your coat.
Scene!
Hey! I like it.
I liked those women. I thought they were great characters.
This is why I like improv, is like, because you come in and you don't know which way it's going to go, but suddenly it's even like in the way you sit down, you just, oh, I know where I am now.
Yes. It's so evocative, isn't it? Like those first opening moments are so key, aren't they? Because it's like, if you're really like observing and you know, everything's open, eyes, ears, everything open.
Yeah.
It
just them little things, isn't it? When it's like you come in sliding in. Oh,
yes. I love those opening moments, and I also after that, talking about vermin, I can just see a moth.
Oh,
I don't know if that's strictly speaking vermin. I'm hoping on the outside of my window because that is the one phobia I have, is moths. But anyway, that's distraction. It's like those opening moments, and then the scene kind of like reveals itself to you slowly. And then I love the pivot moments, or I love something when you said, I work for Rent to Kill now, I work with vermin. I was like, oh my God. I just love those moments when you go, freaking hell, that just opens up a whole door of a new bit of world to discover, you know.
I love it. And I love words, like sometimes overcome. You could say I work for Rent-A-Kill, and you just said, but the vermin. It's the right power behind certain words coming.
How conscious are you, like when you're doing a scene, how conscious are you of the words that you choose? I mean, do they just tumble out? Do they come out, or are you kind of somewhere filtering, trying to find that funny word, you know?
Well, I think it's like when you do comedy, you can use two words that are the same, but one is immensely funnier than the other. And sometimes you like your brain. So I'm not thinking, oh, I can use this word in this scene. But it is like, because you were going like rodents and beetles and stuff like that. And I was thinking, oh, that's like vermin. Oh, I like vermin. It's like that. And you get those little words.
When you find those words in a scene as well, and you just land on them, and I don't know about you, but I just get this little, like, it's like my belly is giggling, like my little belly's just going, oh, that was a good, you know, like that was such a good, like, I'm so glad my subconscious provided me with that word.
And you have to, like, you know, it's a good word because you have to go like this. Vermin. You know what I mean? Because like you say inside, you're going, oh,
that's a good one.
Be clever.
It just, and it's like you say, it's not like that you're consciously thinking, because it's just like I think your subconscious does so much work for you. And it's like when you just discover or find or hear that word come out of your mouth, it's just such a joy, isn't it? Such a joy.
And it is as well with object work. I haven't done any object work for a few weeks now. But it's things like when I sit at my desk, I've got a few things hanging about, and I just think, just introduce it. And I love it when you introduce like your object work, but it's not part of the scene. It's like just there, you know, and it's not even referred to sometimes. Holding a trident. And then you just carry on the scene like holding something very strange, and you can see people think, oh, any minute now she's going to refer to it, and it's like, no. And I remember reading Peter Kay's autobiography, and in the first few like startup of stand-up comedy, he went on stage dressed as a lion, like a full lion, like from Wizard of Oz, and he never once he just stood there and did his act dressed as the lion from Wizard of Oz.
Oh my God.
And you know, just delivering, not as the lion, not raw, no joke about the lion, just stood there in a lion costume like it was the most ordinary thing ever. And then went like, good night, you've been a great audience, and they're leaving. And everyone's like, what?
I love that. It's such a gift. I mean, in improv, it's such a gift, isn't it, when somebody introduces, I mean, online stuff that we've been doing online, you know, people bring in like little puppets, inanimate objects that have voices, you know, puppets, costumes, props, like you say, and it's like they're there. You can use them or not use them, but just the fact that they're there is just part of they're just like part of your world that you're creating.
It just greatly amuses me. And I know that when we do sort of you know, the WIW Women Improvisers of the World, of Worldwide Improvisers Women, I've not got my head around that one.
Worldwide,
that's the one. Starting like that was a Monty Python sketch then, wasn't it? The People's Republic of Women's Improvisers. But anyway, I like that when there's a theme and somebody just jumps on as something completely like in the scene, and not say anything, but maybe just like I tell you, Sandra Lynn's very good at that, and suddenly there'll be a little an ornament.
A little creature that comes on. So cool. That's the kind of stuff that like Zoom Prov has enabled us to do.
Yeah.
Like improvising online has like unlocked so many things that we just didn't tend to do in person. Not that I think one is better or whatever than the other, and one won't replace the other. It's just like how serendipitous really that we've been forced to come online, but out of that has come this amazing innovation, which improvisers are great at anyway. We innovate, but it's like having little things that come on like that you just wouldn't do in person, you know. It's so it's part of the tapestry of it all.
And it's things like I tell you who's really good at this, Jamie Cunliffe, who I work with at Broken Chair. He'll just come on and he'll be doing some like he'll be brushing the floor or something. So it's like he's been caught on camera, and then and it's just like it's fascinating to watch because the scene's going on.
Yeah.
Normally you'd be in the background of the scene because you've got equal camera share. It makes it even funnier.
Yeah. Oh, so tell people. Oh, I just didn't even introduce you at the beginning.
No, you didn't.
Everybody, this is Ange Langley.
I am just so ubiquitous. Everybody knows me.
So tell people about, you know, the teams that you play with and stuff like that.
Okay, so Liverpool Comedy Improv, obviously the mothership of everything improv in the northwest of England, the world. Why am I saying the planet, the universe? And then I did the long form course with you, and we formed Broken Chair Improv, which is a group of people. Oh my God, I love playing with them. They're such good fun. And then at our last gig, which was the Sunday before everything closed down, Andrea and I, and you'll know Andrea Panay. I can't still call
yeah.
I love you so much, Andrea. Just marry an English bloke. That's all. I'll be fine. Panay.
Yeah.
You know what it is. We jumped in with you and Becky and Kat as Boss Birds, and then we were invited to join Boss Birds, which is lovely. And then Kat and I have worked with a team that Dave Escobedo put together, and basically I'm ready for hire. So
have you got a name? Is there a name for this other team?
They were,
can't remember. It'll come back to you.
No, it was the form that we would do, the likeables. Because the format we did was the likeable.
Yeah. Nice.
So we were the likeables, but that was a one night only. That was post course performance.
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, I love improv. It's it really, really makes me smile.
Yeah. How long have you been improvising for?
We'll be coming up to 3 years now.
I was thinking 3 years.
Yeah, 2017, back end of the summer 2017, I walked into your class at the Pilgrim.
Yeah. What was the what would you say, like, to your own self, like when you were just beginning, like 3 years ago, to where you are now? If you could give some key little advice to Ange from 3 years ago, just beginning, what would you say?
I would say you're going to love this. Relax. And I think that is the key to improv, is you don't force anything. Don't go in with an idea. Don't try and steer the scene or anything. That's what I would say, because I know it's a common thing when you start in improv that you jump in and you want to just get to the joke and be the funny one and what have you, which I was guilty of. But now it's like I've gone completely the other way, if I'm honest with you. I'll just follow anyone. Just get in there, girl, and just do the scene. And I love it. That's what I was saying, relax. I would also say to myself 3 years ago, you are going to meet some amazing people. And you know, people that I know are going to be my friends for a very, very, very long time. And they would be people that I wouldn't meet in my work or my social life as it was then. But oh my God, we have done some immensely funny things in that time. And I know that we, you know, this year we've had so many things, performances cancelled, and improv festivals cancelled and things. So next year we are going to monster it, I think.
Gonna monster it. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's really nice advice to give to yourself, like looking back, you know, from now to then. It's like, yeah, relax, just relax your way into it. And that, you know, it's like you're advising yourself to just to leap and have faith and follow the follower, rather than feel like you have to land the joke and lead the scene and all of that kind of stuff.
And you know, Indiana Jones film, when he's on a cliff, and he has to step forward, and he's stepping into a void. I think it's the holy, when he's looking for the Holy Grail.
Yeah. I know that.
And he's like, and then he gets a handful of dust and throw it, and you can see the path forward. That to me is improv. Is like you're there on a cliff edge and you don't know what you're going to do, but you kind of know if you make that step, something there will catch you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you die, and you'll never know how humiliated you were, really.
On the wiser. If you to extend that metaphor and say, you know, the dust that Indiana Jones threw, what is the equivalent of that dust in improv? Like, who or what is that dust for us as improvisers?
I think it's some of the rules. You know, I read improv. Everybody reads improv books. And it's like the principle of yes. And so the dust is all those little snippets of things that you've read and heard and experienced is the dust. Because you don't know in improv, you don't know. There are principles, but there are no rules. So for me, the dust is the principles of someone's always got your back. Just make bold moves, just support an idea, no denial. That's the thing you're throwing to build this bridge into a brilliant scene. That's how I see it anyway.
That's such a cool analogy. That's so beautiful. Yeah, because I think that's right. You sprinkle that dust and the path appears, and the dust for me is all of those things, plus people. Like your whoever you're in a scene with, it's like they are the dust as well, you know, because like if you trust them, trust each other, that path will illuminate, you know.
And I think that's the beauty of it. Like with Liverpool Comedy Improv in the teams that I'm in, is suddenly it's like this big sort of revelation that the person that you're standing next to, you trust completely, you know, and I don't think I felt that in any situation in life other than an improv. And I know Jan and I had a scene once where we always work with coming in with nothing. So, and everyone will come in with nothing and something wonderful happens. And Jan and I walked towards each other when we were in face-to-face rehearsals, and we stood, and you know, you're doing this a bit, you know, building up this. And then after about 3 minutes, I went, I've got nothing. And he went, God, thank God for that, I've got nothing. And we just left the stage. But we were comfortable with the fact that neither of us had nothing, but we had produced something beautiful from nothing, realised we had nothing, and we left with grace.
That's so fun. And the cool thing about that as well is, like, for audience, for audience watching that's theatre. Like, you just get, you know, all you need for theatre is 2 people in a space and somebody to watch, or even 1 person in a space and somebody to watch. And all of a sudden it's heightened. We think, oh, we're watching something's already happening. It's like that heightened state. So you may, inside your mind, you might have thought you had nothing, but to an audience, that was a piece of theatre.
But do you find though, like when you're sitting having a coffee or something, or walking down the street or in a shop, and you hear like little bits of conversation, snatched words or different movements, or somebody going, it's in your head, that's theatre. What's happening now?
There's already something happening. I mean, and that's certainly something that TJ and Dave talk about in their book, you know, the improvisation at the speed of life. It's like, to them, the scene is already happening. They just need to step into it, into the path of it, and not get in its way, not get in your own way, you know, just step into it. ride that story because it's already happening,
Yeah.
and then step off again. And I just think that that's like that path idea, you know, it's already the magic's already there. You just have to kind of trust and step into it, and then leave, you know.
And I think that's what works as an audience as well, because when you see that people are stepping into a scene, in the audience, you're making up the pre-scene, you're making the story up to that point. And then when people step out, you're making in your head as they leave, you're making the story up of what's actually going to happen. And I think that's the love of improv, is that we're all having a different experience of the scene that we're watching. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's so fun. What a great chat, Ange.
Oh, thank you. I've loved it anyway, because I like the preamble before we even press the button.
That's the warm up. Yeah, exactly.
And I never get to talk to you. So we're always in we're always in a group.
Yes.
Hi, bye, and then we were talking to like everybody. So I never get to talk to you now on your own.
Oh. Well, I'm going to stop the live feed now, but we can say ta-ra off camera.
Yeah.
So say ta-ra world.
Ta-ra world.
Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Got to remember which button to press. Ta-ta-ta.